Welcome back to another Roblox adventure. Today we're playing toy defense, and this time we're building our own little toy army and trying to survive the incoming waves. We start with an empty area, so the first thing I need to do is build a strong defense. I open the toy menu and check what units are available. There are several options, but I have to be careful with my money because every toy has a cost. I place the first defender near the path where the enemies will appear. Now we have our first line of defense. The first wave begins, and the enemies start moving toward us. My defender immediately attacks. The first enemies are easy to defeat, but I know the waves are going to get harder. I collect the money and decide to add another toy. With another defender on the field, we have much better coverage. More enemies appear, and both units start attacking. So far, everything is going well. I keep watching the path and wait for the next wave. Another wave starts. This time there are more enemies, so I need to make sure my toys are in the right positions. I place another unit near the center of the area. Now the enemies have to pass several defenders before reaching the end. One enemy gets through the first line, but the second defender takes it down. That was close. I collect the rewards and start upgrading the toys. The stronger the defenders become, the easier it should be to survive the later waves. Another wave begins. More enemies are coming, and the battlefield is starting to get busy. My defenders are firing constantly. I upgrade the unit that is doing the most damage. Its attack becomes stronger, and the next group goes down much faster. The defense is starting to look much better now. I add another toy to protect the main structure. This gives us extra protection if an enemy gets through. Another wave begins, and this time the enemies are moving faster. I keep collecting money and improving the strongest units. One enemy gets surprisingly close, but the defenders eliminate it before it can cause any trouble. The wave is complete. Our little toy army is getting stronger, but this is still only the beginning. There are more waves coming, stronger enemies to defeat, and plenty of upgrades waiting for us. I check the battlefield one more time and make sure everything is ready. The next wave is about to start. Our defenses are in position, the toys are upgraded, and now we just need to see how long we can survive. I'm keeping an eye on every part of the path because one mistake could let the enemies reach the base. The army is ready, the defenses are prepared, and the next challenge is about to begin. Let's keep building, keep upgrading, and see how far this toy army can go. The next wave is ready, and our toy army is getting stronger. I check the battlefield and make sure every defender is in the right position. The enemies start moving along the path. My units immediately open fire, and the first group goes down quickly. But more enemies keep coming. I collect the rewards and upgrade one of the strongest defenders. Now it attacks faster and can handle larger groups. Another wave begins. This time the enemies are stronger and have more health. I add another toy near the middle of the route. Now we have more firepower covering the area. The enemies keep coming, but they're getting eliminated one after another. A stronger enemy appears. It takes several hits, but my defenders eventually bring it down. I upgrade another unit near the end of the path. If something gets through the first defense, we still have a backup. The next wave begins. There are more enemies than before, and they're moving faster. My defenders start firing non-stop. One enemy gets past the first group of toys. I quickly focus on it with the nearby defender. The shots connect, and the enemy disappears before reaching the base. That was close. I collect the money and keep upgrading the army. Another wave starts. This time the battlefield is packed with enemies. The defenders are attacking from several positions. I watch the strongest enemies carefully. One of them has a huge amount of health and keeps moving forward. I upgrade the closest defender to increase its damage. The enemy takes hit after hit. Finally, it goes down. Another difficult wave completed. The rewards give me enough money for another upgrade. I improve one of the units covering the center of the map. Now that defender is much stronger. The next wave begins. More enemies appear, including several stronger ones. The first part of the defense handles them well. I keep watching the final section in case anything gets through. One enemy survives and gets closer to the base. I upgrade the nearby unit and increase its attack power. It starts firing faster. The enemy takes several hits and finally gets eliminated. The base is safe again. More enemies arrive, but our defenses are holding. I collect the rewards and check the battlefield. The toy army is becoming stronger with every wave. But the enemies are getting stronger too. I keep upgrading and make sure every defender has a useful position. Another wave is about to start. The units are ready, the defenses are upgraded, and our base is still standing. Now let's see if our toy army can survive the next attack. The next wave is starting, and the enemies are getting much stronger. I check the battlefield and upgrade the defenders that are doing the most damage. The wave begins. A large group enters the path, and my units immediately open fire. The first enemies go down quickly, but stronger ones are coming behind them. I keep watching the center of the map. A powerful enemy appears with much more health than the others. My defenders attack from several positions, but it keeps moving forward. I quickly upgrade the closest unit. The extra damage finally takes the enemy down. Another wave completed. I collect the rewards and strengthen another defender near the end of the path. Now we have better protection if anything gets through. The next wave begins. This time the enemies are moving faster. Several of them make it farther than before. I focus on the strongest targets and upgrade the nearby units. The defenders start firing faster. One enemy gets dangerously close to the base. I need to stop it quickly. The shots keep hitting, and finally the enemy goes down. That was close. More enemies arrive, but the defense is still holding. I collect the rewards and prepare another upgrade. Another wave starts. The battlefield is getting crowded now. My defenders are firing non-stop, and enemies are disappearing across the path. A stronger enemy survives several attacks and keeps moving. I upgrade the closest defender and increase its damage. The enemy finally goes down. Another difficult wave completed. The money is coming in faster, so I upgrade another important unit. Our defense is becoming much stronger. But the enemy waves are also getting tougher. The next attack begins. Several strong enemies appear together. My defenders attack from every direction. I watch the final part of the path carefully. One enemy manages to get through the middle defense. I quickly upgrade the unit closest to the base. It starts firing faster and takes the enemy down. The base is safe again. More enemies continue to arrive. I keep collecting rewards and upgrading the most important defenders. The wave is getting intense, but our toy army is holding the line. Finally, the last enemy of the wave goes down. Another round completed. I check the battlefield and make sure every unit is ready. We've survived another tough attack, but the next waves are going to be even harder. I still need stronger upgrades if I want to reach the end. The next wave is already beginning. More enemies are entering the path. Our defenses are ready. Let's see if we can survive the next attack. The final part begins, and the enemy waves are getting tougher. I check the battlefield and make sure my strongest defenders are ready. The next wave starts. A huge group enters the path, and my toy army immediately opens fire. The first enemies disappear quickly, but stronger ones are coming behind them. I upgrade the defender covering the busiest section. Its attack becomes faster, and the enemies start going down much quicker. A powerful enemy appears in the middle. Several defenders attack it at the same time. Its health drops quickly, and finally it goes down. Another wave completed. I collect the rewards and strengthen another defender. The next wave begins. More enemies enter the battlefield, and a few make it past the first section. I focus on the strongest one and upgrade the nearby unit. The enemy gets close to the base, but the extra damage takes it down. That was close. The rest of the enemies continue forward, but my army keeps firing. Another wave is completed. I collect the rewards and make one more upgrade. Now the defense is much stronger. The next attack begins. Several powerful enemies enter together. My defenders attack from every direction. One enemy reaches the middle of the path. I watch the final defense carefully. As soon as it enters range, the strongest unit opens fire. The enemy takes several hits and disappears. The base is safe. More enemies arrive, but they can't break through. The final wave is almost over. My toy army keeps firing until the last enemies are eliminated. We survived. We started with a few basic toys, but after upgrading and placing them carefully, we protected the base through some tough attacks. There are still more upgrades and challenges to discover, but this is where we'll finish today. Thanks for watching Toy Defense in Roblox. Like the video and subscribe for more Roblox gameplay. I'll see you in the next adventure.